फरेस्टर्स भनेको वनपालेहरू विदाउट डिप्लोमा क्वालिफिकेसन नगरिकन अथवा हामीले के भन्न सक्छौं पढाइ बिनाका वनपालेहरू has been taken out from Unit 7 Ecology and Development, Grade 11 Compulsory English New Course, and grammatical sections linking verb, intransitive verb, and transitive verb, including all the exercises of this unit. So, yes, there is a proverb in the text sustainability is about ecology, economy, and equity. Ralph Brickness, architect. So, sustainability refers to स्थिरता भन्छौँ स्थिरता about ecology, पर्यावरण, economy भनेको अर्थव्यवस्था and equity भनेको समता. Then we see the pictures where Barack Obama is standing with the writer Maathai from Kenya, and he is also planting the tree or supporting the opinions of Wangari Maathai. So, before dealing with this chapter, Foresters Without Diplomas by Wangari Maathai, we will see the questions mentioned in our textbooks. हामीले आफ्नो textbooksमा we will get some questions as well. The question A, what are the children doing? So we can see very clearly in the pictures that children are planting the trees. Share a couple of things that you and your friends have done to preserve or to protect environment in your community. I, along with my friends, have done awareness programs, awareness campaign, planted trees, and formulated a children's group to preserve and or protect the environment of my community. Yes. What does the title mean? The title of the essay is Foresters Without Diplomas, and this title Foresters Without Diplomas means that a high qualification like diploma is not required to be foresters or to plant a tree. त्यो पढ्न अथवा ट्री प्लान्ट गर्नको लागि हामीलाई क्वालिफिकेसन त्यति हाई लेभलको चाहिँदैन है. About the author Wangari Maathai. Wangari Maathai was a renowned Kenyan social, environmental, and political activist, and the first Black African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. Born in April 1st, 1941, 40, Nyeri, Kenya, and she died in September 25, 2011, Nairobi. She received a PhD degree at the University of Nairobi, effectively becoming the first woman in either East or Central Africa to earn a doctorate degree. Maathai developed the idea that the village women could improve environment by planting the trees. उनले के भनिन् त अथवा village women ले पनि environment लाई राम्रो बनाउन सक्छन् के गरेर by planting a tree or to provide fuel sources or to slow process of deforestation कम गरेर she founded Greenbelt Movement. This is the very prime concern of the author Wangari Maathai. Greenbelt Movement in 1977, an organization had planted 30 million trees by the early 21st century, prime objective to provide education, nurture conservation and environmental improvement. उनको तीनवटा मेन उद्देश्य रहेको छ अफर ग्रीन बेल्ट मुभमेन्टको. Provide education, nurture conservation and environmental improvements. Her first book, The Green Belt Movement, sharing the approach and experience in 1988, detailed the history of organizations. She published an autobiography on board. She frequently represented the concerns like human rights, AIDS prevention, and women's issue meeting of the United National General Assembly. She was elected to Kenya's National Assembly in 2002 with 98% of votes, and in 2003 she was appointed Assistant Manager of the Environment, Natural Resources and the Wildlife. So this is about the author Wangari Maathai. Yes. She has said a very famous proverb, you cannot protect the environment unless you empower people, you inform them and you help them to understand that the resources are their own and they must protect them. मान्छेले त्यति बेलासम्म इन्भाइरोमेन्ट प्रोटेक्ट गर्दैन जबसम्म मान्छेलाई तिमीले इन्करेज गरेर उसलाई वास्तविक रियालिटी वेदर these environment, these trees belong to them and their life. त्यस्तो भन्न सक्दैनौँ भने तबसम्म हामीलाई के हुन्छ, it is very difficult to protect the environment. She also says education, if it means anything, should not take people away from the land but instill them even more respect for it, because educated people are in a positions to understand what is being lost. The future of the planet concerns of all of us, and all of us should do what we can to protect it. As I told the foresters and the women, you don't need a diploma to plant a tree. यसको लागि उनले के भन्छन्, she gives significance to education as well, and she says that there should be heart and mind. This मान्छेको heart र mind ले काम गर्नुपर्छ. It is not the qualification that matters, rather it is the heart and the minds of the people. It is their position, it is their desires, it is their responsibility that even is they do for the nations. Wangari Maathai says, I am a hummingbird and I will do the best I can. If a person is ready for the for doing something for the nation, then he or she is great. Some difficult is word meaning from the textbooks. Foresters without diplomas, sustainability, स्थिरता, equity, समता, campaign, अभियान, consistency, निर्वाचन क्षेत्र, malnutrition, कुपोषण, slums, झुपडपट्टी, manifestations, अभिव्यक्ति, foresters, वनपाले, is germinate, अंकुरण गर्नु, नन्दी flame trees, a kind of tree रुखहरू, slowly भनेको only, indoctrination भनेको अस्तित्व, and infiltrated घुसपैठ अनुप्रवेश, complications सङ्कलित गर्नु, micro anatomy, the microscopic study of the tissue structure, anatomy, a branch of morphology that deals with the structure of organism, subversive, विध्वंसक, and constraint भनेको that means प्रतिबन्धित अथवा restricted. So these are the difficult word meanings from the chapter Foresters without diplomas. Then about the chapter about the autobiographical essay of Maathai's Green Belt campaign in Kenya. Foresters without diploma is the title of sixth chapter of Wangari Maathai's Unbound a Memory. यसबाट के गरेको छ, छैटौं च्याप्टरमा जो मेन्सन गरिएको छ फरेस्टर विदाउट डिप्लोमा, त्यसलाई उनले के गरेकी छिन्, that has been presented in our textbooks. Maathai uses the phrase to describe the women who took part in the planting trees nurseries around the Africa. Foresters without diploma gives us an insight to positive impact that taking care of the planet has on the lives of the everyone. यसले के देखाउँछ भने हामीले यदि if you take care of the plant and planet, यदि हामीले रुखको र यो ग्रहको हामीले केयर गर्छौं भने यसले के गर्छ, हाम्रो पनि केयर गर्छ. इन सस्टेनिङ अवर प्लानेट वी आर इन पार्ट सस्टेनिङ द गुड लाइफ. यदि हामीले प्लानेटलाई ग्रहलाई हामीले पृथ्वीलाई बचाइरहेका छौं भने हामीले आफ्नो लाइफलाई पनि राम्रो गरिरहेका हुन्छौं. These women managed to plant forest and grow trees without any technical information. र यो वुमेन्सहरु जसको बारेमा उनले कुरा गर्छिन्, यिनीहरु they are able to plant the tree, they are able to manage the environment without any technical information, and professionals partners tried to teach them. They went to their instinct since they had planted things all over all their lives. These women shows that having a big education or being great is not necessary to start a change. उनीहरुको विचारमा ठुलै मान्छे भएर परिवर्तन हुँदैन, रादर सबै मिलेर नर्मल वुमेन्सहरुले पनि के गर्छन्, by planting the tree and doing even small things, they can also change the world. If we were more determined to be the beginning of change, no matter how small or how little we know about it, यदि हामी सबै मिलेर चेन्ज गर्न चाहन्छौं भने doesn't matter whether it is a small thing or it is a little thing, थोरै सानो चीज हो, तर हामीले यदि के गर्न चेन्ज गर्न खोज्यौं भने we will be able to change the world remains. And I will be the hummingbird, she herself says. About the huge forest being consumed by the fire, animal watch the forest and the hummingbird is only one that decide to help. जब वन जंगलमा के हुन्छ, आगो लाग्छ, सबैले के गर्छन्, जनावरले पनि हेरिरहेको हुन्छन्, तर उसले के गर्छ त, जो हमिङबर्ड हुन्छ, try to extinguish the fire is by several attempts. She failed several times. Even if she continued her work, she exposed many problems like firewood, malnutrition, lack of food, adequate water, unemployment, soil erosion, slum life, and so on. While she started her This moment while she started her campaign, she faced so many difficulties in her life. उनले यस्तो खालका समस्याहरू फेस गरिन्, firewood, malnutrition, lack of food, adequate water, and this unemployment, soil erosion, slum, विभिन्न किसिमका समस्याहरू फेस गरिन्. But later she got succeed. She was invited to join the National Council of Women in Kenya in 1976. She decided to go to the women because she herself was a woman and she was involved in women organization, and these problems were concerned to the women as well. Furthermore, they were more concerned about the children and about the future. As she went to women and talked about the planting trees, overcoming problems like lack of firewood, building and the fencing materials, stopping soil erosion, protecting water system, women agreed although they didn't know how to do it. In the next few months, the other foresters taught the women how to plant the trees. सुरुमा उनले के गरिन्, आफ्नो फरेस्टर्सहरूलाई कसरी वनपालेहरूलाई कसरी रुख प्लान्ट गर्ने त्यो कुरा सिकाइन्. कम्प्लिकेटेड प्रोसेसलाई पनि सिम्पल वेले उनले कसरी बिउ छर्ने, कसरी अथवा के गर्ने, मल्चिङ गर्ने त्यो कुराहरू सिकाइन्. And therefore she along with her co-workers taught the women just to do using the common sense, they did it well. र उनीहरूले राम्रो तरिकाले गरिने सिडलिङ प्लान्टर बिउ छर्ने, जर्मिनेट गर्ने, उमार्ने, ग्रोइङ अप गर्ने त्यो प्रोसेस बाई प्रोसेस तिनीहरूले सिक्दै गए. तर दो दे वर नट द qualified is women. The author planted the first 7 beautiful Nandi flame trees on the World Environment Day. पहिला 7वटा beautiful Nandi flame trees plant गरिन् on June 5th, 1977, but only 2 survived and the rest died. जब उनले 7वटा प्लान्ट 5वटा प्लान्ट फर्स्ट 7 मध्ये only 2 survived and the rest died, भने 7वटा मध्ये 2टा मात्र बाँचे, अरु प्लान्टहरू मरे. When she was recorded, she found that there were 10 million trees surviving. These all were by the efforts of women. पछि उनले के थाहा पाइन्, womenहरूले गर्दा धेरै प्लान्ट्सहरू सर्भाइभ छन्. And most important fact that the women were now independent and had obtained the knowledge, techniques, empowerment. They are starting teaching the others. पछि उनका जो कोवर्कर्सहरू उनीसँग काम गर्ने वुमेन्सहरू थिए उनले अरूलाई पनि सिकाइरहेका थिइन्. यसरी द नेशनल काउन्सिल अफ वुमेन, बट टुडे सी फाउन्ड 1500 trees and ट्री नर्सरीज उनले अहिले के पाइन्, 1500 अथवा 1500 ट्री नर्सरीहरू छन्. 19% के गर्छ, 99% रन बाई द वुमेन. द इन्भाइरोमेन्ट मुभमेन्ट अपलिफ्टेड द स्ट्याटस अफ पुअर वुमेन. यसले के गर्यो, वुमेनहरूको स्ट्याटसलाई पनि इकोनोमिकली अपलिफ्ट गर्यो एन्ड ग्रीन मुभमेन्टलाई सपोर्ट पनि गर्यो. यसरी सी मुभ्ड अहेड इन सेभरल स्टेप्स. इन केन्या नियर अबाउट 80% अफ द फार्मर्स आर फ्युल ग्यादरर्स आर वुमेन्स. लगभग 80% वुमेन्सहरूले फ्युल ग्यादर गर्छन्. लार्ज पपुलेसन आर नोमेडिक, एक ठाउँबाट अर्को ठाउँमा मुभेबल छन्. कम्युनिटिजहरू मसाई, सेम्ब्रु एन्ड Somalis, and most of northern communities, the author found herself unsuccessful there in if not cared in the near future. Funding is a big problem. जब उनले यो कार्यक्रम चलाइरहेकी थिइन् क्याम्पेन, उनलाई सबभन्दा ठूलो समस्या पैसाको पर्यो. A big problem. As per, she was never well supported by the Kenyan government, rather much support from the abroad. उनले विदेशबाट धेरै सहयोग पाएकी थिइन्. Women from all over the world through small checks, United Nations Development Fund for Women gave up her a big boast $1 lakh is in 1981, and from Danish Voluntary Fund and Norwegian agencies for the international development. She was supported by the several other international agencies. And this African Development Foundations helped her to make a film about the Greenbelt Movement in 1985. The African Development Foundation थियो, उसले के गर्यो, मुभी बनाउनमा सहयोग गर्यो. The author also talked about her 2 sons and daughter who were big and her biology field, though she was in microanatomy and development anatomy, and her experiences that she gained from her work green belt movement. उनले आफ्नो सन र डटर्स जो के हुन्छ बायोलोजी पढिरहेका हुन्छन् and जबकि उनी के हुन्छन् माइक्रो एनाटमीबाट हुन्छन्. she was happy with how far she has arrived. उनी धेरै टाढा पुगिसकेकी थिइन्, धेरै सपोर्ट गरेकी थिइन्. though some others counted her as a fool. अरूले उनलाई मूर्ख सम्झन्थे. She found in society people are asked for mainly 2 things: to use imposed knowledge and to become followers rather than the leaders. But in fact, All they need is a desire to work and common sense. Finally, she criticized political leadership and our political system in the sense that it is not tolerant and encouraging enough, as she found the USA and UN seminars. She suggests women to never lose hope and go ahead. उनले वुमेनहरुलाई के भन्छिन्, होप कहिले पनि लुज नगर्ने, अगाडि बढ्ने, as one obtains any idea and opportunity as a single person can make a difference. Then about match the followings, ways with words. Match the words with their meanings. The first one is consistency. A consistency matched with is fourth one. अब consistency भनेको electoral district भनेको छ. Yes. Second, pursue. Pursue refers to third. Third refers to follow, and fourth are overtake, captures. त्यसपछि सी छ infiltrate. Infiltrate भनेको this fifth one, to enter or to gain access. An organization or place secretly or gradually. Then D, nomadic. Nomadic means second one is living life like a roaming. एक ठाउँमा नबसेर अथवा घुमन्ते लाइफ पास आउट गर्नु. Anatomy. E. Anatomy refers to BI, art of studying different parts of any organized body. F, subversive. Subversive is first seeking or intended to overthrow the established system or institution. So this is about the match the followings. Then about is study the following words. यहाँ के दिएको छ तपाईहरुले के बुझ्नुस्, प्रिफिक्स दिएको छ. अब प्रिफिक्सबाट हामीले के गर्ने त, वी हैव टु मेक द सेन्टेन्सेस. यो केही प्रिफिक्सहरु यसमा दिएका छन्, जस्तो मेल, मेलबाट बनाएको छ, मेल डेभलपमेन्ट, मेल प्र्याक्टिस, मेल फंक्शन्स. अन यो पनि एउटा प्रिफिक्स हो, अनेबल, अनह्याप्पी, अनफेयर. यस्तै प्री दिएको छ, प्रिपेयर्ड, प्रिडिटरमाइन्ड, प्रिभ्यू, डिसलोयल, डिसअनेस्ट, डिसअबे. हियर यू हैव टु नो इज दैट प्रिफिक्स भनेको something is that is added initially, जसलाई अगाडि हामीले थप्छौं भने प्रिफिक्स भइहाल्यो. यदि पछाडि हामीले added something, finally that becomes the suffix. So here is the prefixes are given and you have to make the words by using the prefixes, and the question can be asked in the examinations as well. This is im, ir, non is, so you can practice these. Then comprehensions. Comprehension, answer the following questions. What did Maathai decide to do for the community? उनले समुदायको लागि के गर्न खोजिन्? Maathai decided to create job opportunity for the people from the poor communities. Mention the problems faced by women in Kenya. The women in the Kenya faced problems like firewood, malnutrition, lack of food, adequate water, unemployment, soil erosion, slum life. Slum भनेको झुपडपट्टी. यस झुपडपट्टीमा बसेको जीवन तो difficult life. Why did the speaker go to the women to talk about the planting tree? The speaker went to the women to talk about the planting trees to overcome problems such as the lack of firewood, buildings and fencing materials, supporting soil erosions and protecting the water system. What is the most important achievement of the movement described in the text? Most important achievement के हुन्छ भने it made women independent. यसले womenलाई स्वतन्त्र बनायो. Women, they acquired knowledge, they got the techniques and they become empowered. They become self-dependent. Why were the foresters ways not helpful to women in planting trees? Forester को ways किन त्यो womenहरुलाई helpful थिएन त? The foresters ways were not helpful to the women for planting trees because they had diplomas in particular field and they dealt even simple things like looking for seeds and planting trees in complicated way. Foresters are the simple कुरालाई पनि के गर्थे, complicated तरिकाले प्रेजेन्ट गर्छ. त्यसकारण तिनीहरुको वेज के थियो त, तिनीहरुको लागि हेल्पफुल थिएन. When and how did she start Greenbelt Movement? Only Greenbelt Movement started in June 5, 1977 by planting the first 7 beautiful Nandi flame trees. Among them 2 were दुईटा प्लान्टहरु लागे, अरु बाँकी डेड भए. Why do the donors want to provide money to the women? The donors wanted to provide money to the women to uplift their status. उनको स्ट्यान्डर्डलाई माथि बढाउनको लागि, and make a film about Greenbelt Movement as they were the foresters without diplomas. What happened when the speaker criticized the political leaders? जब स्पिकरले के गर्छन्, political leadersलाई criticize गर्छन्. When she criticized the political leadership, the government took away an office given her and she didn't receive any financial support from the Kenyan government. Mention the agencies that supported her movement: United Nations Development Fund for Women, Danish Voluntary Fund, Norwegian Agencies for International Development, African Development Foundation. These were the agencies which supported her movement. Then critical thinking. Do you think the title Foresters Without Diploma is a suitable essay? Foresters Without Diploma is the title of the sixth chapter of Wangari Maathai's On Board a Memoir, and it is suitable. She uses this phrase to decide the women who took part in planting trees nurseries around the Africas. And these foresters without diploma give us an insight to a positive impact that taking care of our planet has on the lives of everyone. यदि हामीले planet को care गर्यौं, earth को care गर्यौं भने हाम्रो life पनि happy हुनेछ. In sustaining our planet, we are in the part of sustaining the good life as much of everyday life relies on the earth being the way it is. These women manage to plant forest. These women manage to plant forest and grow trees without any of the technical informations, and the professional planters tried to teach them. They went to these their instincts since they had planted the trees and all their lives. These women show that having a big education or being great is not necessary to start a change. हामीले चेन्ज गर्नको लागि उनले example दिन्छन्. She gives the example of a hummingbird that all the even animals in the forest watch as there is the fire in the forest, but it is the yes, even hummingbird with support. In this way we can say that this title is suitable, is appropriate. Can a person make a difference in a society? Discuss with an example from a person who has made difference in the society. Obviously, a person can make a difference in the society. It's not the fact and easy to take on the idea like I am the person who can make a difference in the society. But truth is that it is quite difficult but not impossible. If we all places our struggles to make a society better, we can achieve greater things. Making the society better not only involves fixing the right rules but also includes society's kindness, generosity, social works, and responsibility. The person who is concerned about the others more than the personal benefits can have an impact on them. Here is an example, a kind of a generous person. Dr. Ramesh Thapa is my neighbor, and he works in a government hospitals. He is counted as one of the best surgeons in the city. Every 3 months, he runs a mobile clinic campaign in the different parts of our districts. Who can't afford the expensive treatment? In addition to this, he manages free medical treatment for 4 persons who are suffering from the chronic disease. He has saved the lives of several people. His family members also support him unconditionally. He is modest and simple. For him, humanity comes first. Different organizations have honored him for the past contributions to the society, and we really feel proud of them. देन अबाउट राइटिङ पर्सनल लेटर. अब हामीले के बुझ्नु पर्यो, एउटा पर्सनल लेटरमा के अथवा टपिक्सहरुमा हामीले केयर गर्ने हो. एउटा सेन्डरको एड्रेस हुन्छ, जसले चिठी पठाउँछ. सेन्डरको एड्रेसको एक्जाम्पल यहाँ दिएको छ. त्यसपछि डेट, फर्स्ट वी राइट सेन्डर्स एड्रेस, देन वी राइट डेट. सेल्युटेसन भनेको रेस्पेक्ट इज गुड मर्निङ डियर फ्रेन्ड्स इज अथवा डियर मम डियर सर, त्यो सेल्युटेसन. देन बडी अफ द लेटर, यो बडी भनेको होल लेटर यहाँदेखि यहाँसम्मको बडी भइहाल्यो. त्यसपछि कन्क्लुडिङ रिमार्क्स भनेको इज कन्भे माई नमस्ते टु अल इज योर फ्यामिली मेम्बर्स, कन्भे माई रिगार्ड्स टु पापा एन्ड लभ यु डियर रितु भनेर यसरी भइहाल्यो. कम्प्लिमेन्ट्स भनेको योर लभिङली, योर बेस्ट फ्रेन्ड, योर फेथफुल्ली, एन्ड लास्टमा सिग्नेचर आर योर नेम. सो दिज आर द 7S category, 7 topic that you have to point, that you have to remember while writing the personal letters. Other we can say also another example is address of the writer. पहिलोमा के हुन्छ, address of the writer, then date, then superscription or salutation. We call it two things, superscription पनि भन्छन्, salutation पनि भन्छन्. Then 3 paragraphs, यसलाई body of the letters भन्छ, as introduction, main contents and conclusion. Then अर्को सबस्क्रिप्सन्स इन्क्लुडिङ राइटर्स नेम पनि भन्न सक्छौं हामीले, जसमा के हुन्छ सबस्क्रिप्सन्समा योर लभिङली, योर बेस्ट फ्रेन्ड एन्ड देन योर नेम. सो दिस इज द फर्मेट अफ राइटिङ द पर्सनल लेटर. सो इज study the given letter and underline the sender's address, date and greetings and then कम्प्लिमेन्ट्री क्लोज. अब यसमा हामीले पढेर डेट उसको के गर्ने त, लेटर्सको सेन्डर्सको एड्रेस यहाँ भइहाल्यो हाम्रो. यस त्यसपछि डेट छ हैन, त्यसपछि यो हाम्रो के भइहाल्यो, ग्रिटिङ्स भइहाल्यो, त्यसपछि यो मेन लेटर्स भइहाल्यो, अनि यहाँ सबस्क्रिप्सन्स तल आइहाल्यो, त्यसपछि उसको सिग्नेचर आइहाल्यो। यो के गरिदियो, अन्डरलाइन गरिदिनु। सपोज यु आर म्याकडोनल्ड राइट रिप्लाई टु सन्दर, जस अगाडि चिठी पढेर त्यसको यहाँ के गरिएको छ, एउटा रिप्लाई दिएको छ। अब हामीले फर्स्ट के गर्छौँ, यो लेटर पढ्छौँ। यसमा के गरेको छ, एज यु नो वी हेभ बिन लिभिङ इन अ फ्ल्याट नाउ फर 6 months एन्ड वी लाइक द्याट बट आई एम अफ्रेड देयर इज a few problems. First, good deal with the furniture is rather old. अब यो एउटा घरबेटीलाई के गरेको छ, उसले कम्प्लेन गरेको छ। त्यसपछि घरबेटीले के गर्छ, आफ्नो बस्ने जो टेनेन्ट्स हुन्छ त्यसको लागि चिठी लेखेको छ। उनीहरू भिजिट गर्न आए। प्रोमिस एज वेल एज आई इन्फर्म यु दैट वी आर भिजिटिङ to the flat this coming weeks and we will look after all the obstacles above mentioned and I will solve the problems of the central heating, windows, kitchen and so on. यसरी के गरेको छ, घरबेटीले म्याकडोनल्डले आफ्नो टेनेन्ट्सलाई लेखेको छ। So then write an essay about community forest in Nepal. Describe how community forest have contributed to maintain ecology in environment. And this question is important as well. यो तपाईहरुको लागि इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ, यसलाई राम्रोसँग कम्युनिटी फरेस्ट भनेको के हो त्यसको बारेमा एस्से लेख्ने। So is the forest area in Nepal is increased sharply in last 20 years because of the transformations of ownership of the forest resources to the local communities and implementation of forest management act rules. The community forest based on the forest management is becoming model of the community governments of Nepal, which is regarded as one of the most successful initiative emerged through the joint collaborations मा गएको हुन्छ। गभर्नमेन्ट, सिभिल सोसाइटी र लोकल पिपुल, डोनर कम्युनिटी यिनीहरूले मिलेर गरेको हुन्छन्। सिन्स नेपाल has already passed more than 3 decades of community based on the forest management practices, I think it is right time to check the outcomes and policies and measures. So the SC is mentioned here. This about the community forest. This community forestry has taken the remarkable steps to institutionalize and ensure the community participation and engagement as well as to maintain ecology and environment. Since more than 70% people live in the rural areas and depend on the agriculture, यसरी हामीले के गर्न सक्छौं, तपाईहरुले यो एस्सेहरु by reading this essay you can complete yourself. So this is about the community forest. Thus, community forests have contributed a lot to maintain ecology and environment in the country. Then about the grammar. Grammar ma cha linking verb, intransitive verb or transitive verb. It's a new thing, अलि नयाँ चीज हो, तपाईहरुले बुझ्नु होला हैन। All verbs have a subject. The person or a thing does actions. A real difference between linking intransitive, transitive verbs is whether or not they have object. वास्तवमा हामीले के बुझ्नु पर्यो, सेन्टेन्समा अब्जेक्ट छ कि छैन। जसले के देखाउँछ त, डिफरेन्स देखाउँछ। एस भनेको सब्जेक्ट, बी भनेको भर्ब, एससी भनेको सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट, डीओ भनेको डाइरेक्ट अब्जेक्ट, आईओ भनेको इनडाइरेक्ट अब्जेक्ट। र पहिलो आएको छ लिंकिङ भर्ब। लिंकिङ भर्बमा के हुन्छ, टेक अ सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट, क्यान नट बी प्यासिभ। एउटा कुरा के बुझ्ने, लिंकिङ भर्ब भएको स्टेटमेन्ट सेन्टेन्स प्यासिभमा जान सक्दैन। पहिलो भनेको छ यसमा के हुन्छ, सब्जेक्ट भर्ब सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट, अब्जेक्ट पनि हुँदैन। हेर, सब्जेक्ट भर्ब सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट। यसको भर्ब कस्तो हुन्छ, बी, सीम, बिकम, appear, feel, get, look। यस्तो खालको भर्ब आइदियो भने त्यसलाई हामीले के भन्छौं, लिंकिङ भर्ब भन्छौं। लिंकिङ भर्ब have no object, यसमा अब्जेक्ट हुँदैन। लिंकिङ भर्ब links two parts of a sentence, they link the subject to a noun or adjective। नाउन र अब्जेक्टिभ सँग हुन्छ, तर यसमा अब्जेक्ट हुँदैन। यसको प्यासिभ भोइस पनि हुँदैन। लिंकिङ भर्बको के बुझ्नु होला, त्यो सेन्टेन्सको प्यासिभ भोइस हुँदैन र यसमा अब्जेक्ट हुँदैन। इन्स्टेड अफ अब्जेक्ट त्यहाँ के हुन्छ त, नाउन एडजेक्टिभ्सहरु भएको हुन्छ। जस्तो यहाँ दिएको छ, आई एम फिलिङ थर्स्टी। अब यसको हामीले प्यासिभ बनाउन सक्दैनौं, किनकि यो फिलिङ भर्ब, आई एम फिलिङ भर्ब भइहाल्यो, थर्स्टी के भइहाल्यो त, एडजेक्टिभ भइहाल्यो। यस, सी इज, जन इज माई बेस्ट, माई बोयफ्रेन्ड अथवा जन इज माई बोयफ्रेन्ड। अब माई बोयफ्रेन्ड के भइहाल्यो त, हाम्रो यो तपाईको यो के भइहाल्यो त, कम्प्लिमेन्ट भइहाल्यो। यस, अथवा सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट भइहाल्यो। त्यस्तै माई फादर इज एन इन्जिनियर, यो पनि के भइहाल्यो, सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट भइहाल्यो। यस्तै हामीले के बुझ्नु पर्यो, सेन्टेन्स प्यासिभ हुँदैन, अब्जेक्ट हुँदैन, सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट हुन्छ। त्यस्तै गरी यहाँ एक्जाम्पल दिएको छ, म्यारी इज अ नर्स। म्यारी के हो त, एउटा नर्स हो भनेको म्यारी सब्जेक्ट, इज भर्ब भइहाल्यो, यो लिङ्किङ भर्ब भइहाल्यो र यो के भइहाल्यो कम्प्लिमेन्ट सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट म्यारी इज अ सब्जेक्ट इज अ भर्ब नर्स इज अ subject complement. So yes, in this way you can practice yes, this linking verb do not make the sentence if used alone. अब यो यदि हामीले अनर्स हटाइदियौँ भने यो सेन्टेन्सले मिनिङ दिँदैन कम्प्लिट मिनिङ दिँदैन फर इक्जाम्पल दे आर जब दे आर टिचर्स भन्छौँ मिनिङ दिन्छ आई फिल अनवेल भनेपछि मात्र दिन्छ सो दिस इज अबाउट द लिङ्किङ भर्ब अर्को इन्ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्बको कुरा गर्छौँ हामीले अब इन्ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्बमा के हुन्छ टेक नो अब्जेक्ट यसमा पनि अब्जेक्ट हुँदैन तर यसमा हाम्रो सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट पनि हुँदैन दुईटा भनेछ यसको अब्जेक्ट पनि हुँदैन अनि सब्जेक्ट र भर्ब मात्र दिएको हुन्छ इफ द सेन्टेन्स हेज ओन्ली सब्जेक्ट एन्ड भर्ब ही फेन्टेड सी क्राइड आवर कार ब्रोक डाउन यहाँ दिएको छ अ गर्ल इज सी क्राइड and this their action is not transferred from subject to something else उनको एक्सन के हुन्छ अब्जेक्टमा अथवा उनको एक्सन सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्टमा पुग्दैन the action is completed अथवा completed within the verb verbमै सिद्धिसकेको हुन्छ and the verbs are for example bark boast change cough die go leave run sit sleep wave and they cannot be passive as well passive पनि हुँदैन सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट पनि हुँदैन र यिनीहरूको एक्सन यही कम्प्लिट भइसकेको हुन्छ जस्तो यहाँ दिएको छ सी पेन्टेड आफ्टर लन्च सी कफ्ड बिटरली यस यिनको एक्सन कम्प्लिटेड हुन्छ पहिल्यै कम्प्लिट भइसकेको हुन्छ सी लिभ्स इन लन्डन यसको सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट पनि पछाडि दिएको हुँदैन यस यिनीहरू के भइहाल्यो त इन्ट्रान्जिटिभ त्यस पछाडि लास्ट आएको छ ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्ब ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्ब एन्ड have an object यसमा एउटा अब्जेक्ट दिएको हुन्छ र यसको प्यासिभ पनि हुन्छ एन्ड भर्ब्स लाइक बम क्लिन ब्रेक डिस्ट्रोय इट किल लाइक पुट अप ट्रिगर डाउन एस टर्न डाउन वान्ट अब यसको प्यासिभ पनि हुन्छ तारा डजन्ट वान्ट अ न्यू कार यसमा अब्जेक्ट दिएको हुन्छ जस्तो ही किक्ड द बल ही किक्ड बल यो तीनटा यहाँबाट यहाँ ट्रान्सफर भयो यहाँबाट यहाँ के गरिन्छ ट्रान्सफर भएछ दस इट टेक्स एन अब्जेक्ट र यसमा के हुन्छ त प्यासिभ पनि हुन्छ अब यो डिस्ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्ब वी डोन्ट नीड इज टु मेन्सन्स यसमा दुईवटा अब्जेक्ट हुन्छन् यो हाम्रो अहिले टेक्स्टमा राखेको छैन यो ब्याचलरतिर हामीले पढ्नुपर्छ सो विल लेटर स्टडी दिस इज So what is the difference among the transitive, intransitive and linking verb? Give an example of each. अब linking verb हामीले के बुझ्नु पर्यो a verb that act as equal signs subject becomes subject or subject is or becomes the object. Subject है सबै कुरा हुन्छ ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्बमा के हुन्छ इट हैज verb has an object हुन्छ इन्ट्रान्जिटिभमा के हुन्छ डजन्ट हैव अब्जेक्ट हुन्छ अब इक्जाम्पल लिङ्किङ भर्बको दिएको छ जुली इज माई सिस्टर इज अथवा जुली आउनु पर्ने जुली सिस्टर इक्वल टु जुलीज फिट वेयर कोल्ड छन् एन्ड इक्जाम्पल अफ ट्रान्जिटिभमा के भनेको छ माई मदर बेक्ड द केक ट्रान्जिटिभमा के हुन्छ अब्जेक्ट दिएको हुन्छ एन्ड इन्ट्रान्जिटिभमा के गरेको हुन्छ अब्जेक्ट दिएको हुँदैन तर यो के हुन्छ हाम्रो सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट्सहरू दिएको हुन्छ यस अथवा लिङ्किङ भर्ब हामीले यहाँ के गर्यौं त लिङ्किङ भर्बमा के गर्यौं त यस हामीले लिङ्किङ भर्बको इक्जाम्पलमा दिएको छ जुली इज माई सिस्टर यसमा सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट हुन्छ लिङ्किङ भर्बमा सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट हुन्छ ट्रान्जिटिभमा अब्जेक्ट दिएको हुन्छ र हाम्रो इन्ट्रान्जिटिभमा के हुन्छ सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिट भएको हुन्छ हामीले एड मात्र पछाडितिर फ्रेजहरू प्रिपोजिसनल फ्रेजहरू र एडभर्ब्सहरू राख्ने गर्न सक्छौं So then about the exercise mentioned in our textbooks. Underline the verbs in each sentence and write whether they are transitive, intransitive and linking verb. The first one is father looks handsome, linking words. So here this handsome is subject complement. Bhavana drinks milk every day, transitive verbs. He becomes a watchman. He became a watchman, linking verbs. This bread smells good, linking verbs. The dog barks loudly, intransitives. He chased the dog. अब यसमा यो अब्जेक्ट दिएको छ अब्जेक्ट भएको कारणले गर्दा ट्रान्जिटिभ भइहाल्यो यस अब्जेक्ट यहाँ छैन स्विम्स इन्ट्रान्जिटिभ भयो फेरि पेन्टेड अ पिक्चर्स यो अब्जेक्ट भइहाल्यो अब्जेक्ट भएपछि के भयो ट्रान्जिटिभ भयो यस राधिका आस्क्स क्वेशन्स यसमा क्वेशन्स के भइहाल्यो अब्जेक्ट भयो त्यसकारण आस्क्स ट्रान्जिटिभ भयो ही हैज अ लङ हेयर योसँग कन्सर्न पोसेसन भइहाल्यो, हामीले यसलाई के भन्छौँ, त्यस कारण यो के भयो, लिङ्किङ वर्ब भइहाल्यो, सब्जेक्ट कम्प्लिमेन्ट. The lion roars intransitives. He tried again and again intransitives. The weather is hot, linking verbs. Owl hides in the daytime, intransitive verbs. So then about speaking portions मा केही टर्म्सहरु दिएको छ. हामीले यो sometimes के हुन्छ, while practicing the communication we need to is such expressions. Read the expressions for asking about and giving opinion. कसरी सोध्ने हो, कसरी त्यसको आफ्नो ओपिनियन दिने हो. जस्तो सोध्ने बेलामा we use such types of structures. यस्तो खालको हामीले के गर्छौं, स्ट्रक्चर्सहरु युज गर्छौं. What do you think? What's your view? How do you see the situation? What is your opinion? Do you think that? Would you agree with me that? So using these structures we can ask the so many questions with the people. While giving opinion we say in a express in a such a way, I think, I reckon, in my opinion, in my view, I feel that, as far I have come convened is from my point of view. यो हामीले कहिलेकाहीँ क्वेशनहरुको आन्सर लेख्ने बेलामा पनि लास्ट प्याराग्राफमा लेख्न सक्छौं. So these are the significant ways of expressing our ideas. Is I believe that, personally speaking, I believe or think, as for me, I reckon भनेर त्यसरी दिएको छ. Then work in pair, यो पनि significant छ. You can practice these questions as well. Maybe asked in examinations or even listening and speaking practice as well. त यहाँ यसको इक्जाम्पल हेर्नुस् के दिएको छ. व्हाट डु यु थिंक अबाउट, यो कम्प्लिट, यो तपाईको स्ट्रक्चर भित्र भइहाल्यो. हामीले के गर्ने, जब क्वेशन बनाउने बेलामा एमा हामीले यो लेखिदिने, व्हाट डु यु थिंक अबाउट, अनि यो के भइहाल्यो, क्वेशन पोलिटिक्स. त यसको आन्सर के गर्ने, यो अगाडिको सेम, एज फर मी आई थिंक, यहाँसम्म के गरिदिने, सेम कपी गरिदिने. यो बी मा पनि यहाँसम्म कम्प्लिट कपी गर्ने. क्वेशन ए के भयो, व्हाट डु यु थिंक अबाउट पोलिटिक्स. बी मा के भयो, एज फर मी आई थिंक, अनि सार्ने, पोलिटिक्स इज द पोलिसीज अफ द पोलिसीज. अब हामीले के गर्ने, एजुकेटिङ गर्ल भनेछ त यसको के गरिदिन्छौं, व्हाट डु यु थिंक अबाउट एजुकेटिङ गर्ल्स. त हामीले के भन्छौं आन्सरमा, एज फर मी आई थिंक एजुकेटिङ गर्ल इज द टेन्डेन्सी अफ लिडिङ फ्यामिली इन राइट ट्र्याक. यस्तो मैले एन्सर मेन्सन गरिदिएछु, तपाईहरुले यसको हेल्पले गर्नु होला. अर्को दिएको छ, व्हाट डु यु थिंक अबाउट फलोइङ फरेन ट्रेडिशन्स. एज फर मी आई थिंक फलोइङ फरेन ट्रेडिशन इज द वे अफ लुजिङ आवर ट्रेडिशन्स. त्यस्तै वर्शिपिङ गड छ. Thus, for the question A, what do you think about worshipping God? त हामीले के भन्न सक्छौं, we can say, as for me, I think worshipping God means having faith in religion. In this way, you can practice the given questions mentioned here, like depending on the foreigners, cheating in exam, is learning English, speaking several languages, engaging in corruptions, brain drain, and being drunkards. So you can practice these questions by the help of these examples. Then project works. Imagine that you are the chief guest of the programs organized by the government on the occasion of the environment. Write 10-minute speech to deliver it to the class. So the speech is mentioned here. Good morning to the excellencies, my respected teacher and my dear friends. The topic of my speech is environment, and the occasion of World Environment Day. It's essential for all to realize that every little deed matters when it comes to saving the environment. सानो चीजले पनि म्याटर गर्छ यदि environment सेफको कुरा हुन्छ. Environment is the surrounding in which we live, and it is the source of our life, and our whole life is dependent upon the environment. It directs our life and determines our proper growth and development. Good and bad qualities of social life depends on the qualities of the natural environment. The need of human life for food, water, shelter, and other things depends on the environment around us. And there is a balanced natural cycle exists between the environments and the lives of the human beings, plants and animals. Human society is playing vital role in degenerating the natural environment, which is the turn negatively affect the lives of our planet. All the human actions in this modern world would directly impact on the whole ecosystems, increasing demand of the technologies and industries in the modern time impact upon the nature. Some of the environment problems are rapid growth in the world populations, deteriorating natural resources, diminishing forest and the wetland erosions of soil and coral reefs, depleting the underground water, regular shortage of fresh drinking water, vanishing plants, sanitizations of Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Middle East. Some other issues are the loss of biodiversity, rapid extinction of some important animal species, collapse of the fisheries, rising air, water pollution, rise in atmospheric temperature, thinning of the ozone layers, spoiling rivers, seas and underground resources. Human society is embedded in an environment. We must not forget that the human being is the first and foremost animal, sharing living space with other animal species in an environment on which we are mutually dependent. It is our responsibility to save our environment and earth and make possibility the healthy and happy environment life here. Hope you like this. Thank you, everybody. Identify a person from your community who has worked on the environment protection, write a story of that person incorporating the effort and he as he made to change the things attitude of the people. There is a person in my community whose name is Mr. Samir Reuli, and after completing his master degree in community forest, he made a plan to establish a community forest in our Tarai in our area. First, he informed people about the significance of forest and its impact on the human life. At first, people didn't care his plan. सुरुमा उसको प्लानलाई केयर गरेनन् जस्तो हामीलाई very fine example we can take up Mahavir Pun as well and policies. But as he associated his motives of planting trees with some other, such as the bee farming, poultry farming, fishing, and some other sorts of employments for the people. Many people supported him, and nowadays he has been working on the fields like the use of alternative energy resources, established protected areas, and protecting biodiversity, hunting restrictions, planting trees, and many more. And he sells several sorts of domestic and healthy products in suitable price, provided job opportunity to nearly 200 people in the areas. So, okay, this is about the autobiographical essay Foresters Without Diplomas by Wangari Maathai and Unit 7 Ecology and Development, Paryavaran and Vikas. So, regarding this essay, or if you have any queries, mention below in the comment section. If you find these videos helpful and interesting, like the videos, share it, subscribe it, click on the bell icon to get notification from upcoming videos. Thank you for watching this. Goodbye. Have a good day.